Hey guys, Horatio here, and today's review is very, very special because it is going to be my first Transformers review. Yay! Today we've got Heinlad, or Heinrad, depending on how you want to pronounce that L. He is really neat. He comes from Beastwars Neo. He is a Japanese release. And in the Beastwars Neo series, Heinlad possesses the unique ability to be able to stop time, which is very cool. He takes the form of a tanuki and is a working alarm clock. So, he does a lot of really neat stuff. Let's take a look at him and see what all he does. And here we are. As I mentioned, Heinlad, however we want to pronounce it, is a tanuki, which is both an actual animal and a Japanese mythological beast. Tanuki are raccoon dogs, which are a kind of canine that's native from Russia through northern Japan. They're not actually raccoons, they're from a different family, being canines. His accessories, we have a sake bottle right here, and a packet of IOUs, which come from the mythological personalities of Tanuki, being that they borrow money, hence the packet of IOUs, and that they're lushes, they're drunks. So we'll take those aside, and Heinrad does have an alternate animal form. It can either be the mythological Tanuki, which is that right there, and if we're all familiar with the Tanuki mythos, they have big balls. It's actually a thing, and the animals actually do kind of have sizable gonads, as it were, but that is definitely a thing with the Tanuki mythos, and if you ever see a Tanuki statue, it is illustrated with big balls. His alternate animal form is actually just to tilt his hind legs like so, and then his front legs like so. Tilt his thumbs out, and his head comes up, and his tail goes down. And then he actually looks, if you ignore the robot parts, more like a tanuki animal. Like he's actually crawling on all fours. That's kind of neat. I like that you can go with either mythological tanuki or actual tanuki. And you may have noticed that he does have a clock on his chest. It is a working alarm clock, but it only works as an alarm clock when he is in robot form. And we'll go into that once we've got him transformed. If we bring him up and look at his details, his face is very nicely painted. There's no real paint spill out or anything from his eye spots. It's very nice. We've got the pink ears. You can see the clock up here. We've got pads on the bottom of his feet. There, his balls. So, I'm going to go ahead and take him and transform him. And bam! Here we have him in robot mode. As I mentioned, he is a working alarm clock, and so I'll show you guys that real fast. On the back is where you actually set the alarm. Right there is where you set the alarm and the time. And the reason why he is only a working alarm clock in robot mode is because the way that you turn on the alarm is to lift up his head. And then you push it down to turn it off. And that is the worst alarm sound ever. When I first got him, I thought, oh, how convenient. I'll use him as an alarm, because that won't be totally confusing to me when I wake up in the morning to that horrible sound and start trying to turn it off, and then it just results in me at 6 a.m. grabbing this transformer and going, until it finally goes off. His goggles visor, whatever you want to call that, does go up and down, and I don't know why, but I absolutely love it when Transformers have movable visors. My roommate says it's because I watched too much Digimon as a kid, and I like to have the goggles up on their head. One cool thing, well, we'll look at all of his parts, and I'll show you the cool stuff. His feet. You can see his legs. He does have some posability that's not lost in robot form, but he loses his balance very easily. His knee can kind of move, and his hips can move. You can see his feet and the tanuki shells hanging off. And he's got a lot of kibble that shows in the back. The tanuki feet. The head is kind of my least favorite part that just kind of hangs off in two big chunks. And the tail. I love all of the Beast Wars Transformers because they're animals and dinosaurs, and I love that because I love animals and I love dinosaurs and I love weird animals like Nautiluses, but I hate it when they just have big chunks of shell hanging off, and he's not the worst shell former in the world. He doesn't have that many chunks of animal shell hanging off, but I think it really detracts from the robot mode in the long run. But now that we've seen his alarm clock, we'll bring him up close and take a look at his face. Got some very nice paint jobs. The paint's really nice. It doesn't bleed out really anywhere, and that's one of my least favorite things that I ever see on Transformers is when the paint is bleeding into the molding in areas, and that's more common on American Transformers these days than these Japanese ones. Got some really nice molding details, and you've seen the back. And then what you see here, attached to his legs, are projectiles, missiles, if you will. And I'll show you, I'll put him down. Decide where to put him down, how to put him down, and break out how the projectiles work. You see his little traditional weapons. These actually do transform. That comes out. And then those connect right there. And then you can load them up with missiles and launch the missiles. And then his right hand has a little spot, and it's an absolute bitch to get in, but his right hand will hold his very interesting looking gun. Sometimes his elbow joint is a little bit too weak for him to hold it out straight. You can kind of have him holding it down. Overall, I'm really excited to be reviewing my first Transformer for you guys, and this guy I generally like to list as my favorite Transformer, probably mostly just because I'm weird, but I think his story is very cute. I think his personality I've really warmed up to his personality in the show, and yeah. Also, I like that he's a working alarm clock. I like that he's a Transformer that I can make do a job. Overall, a really great find, and if you can locate one, I definitely recommend picking him up. So, thanks for watching, guys. This is Horatio signing out, and I'll see y'all at the next review.